What's going on, my PokeGs? Welcome to the pokegerse. My name is Gerson, and if this is your first time on this channel, we've been working on a new series here called Pokemon Kanto Reimagined, where, just as the title says, we'll be reimagining the original 151 Kanto Pokemon. Some will stay true to their original source, while others may get a completely new revamped look, as well as maybe new lore or new typings. So far, we've covered the iconic Kanto starter Pokemon in Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, along with their evolved forms, and I definitely recommend watching those videos to get a full breakdown on those new designs. In this video, we're going to be working on the early route bug Pokemon Caterpie, along with its evolved forms, and not just that, but we'll also be reimagining its counterpart with the Weedle evolutionary line. Since we're going to have a total of 6 new Pokemon reimaginings in this video, which is actually the most that I've ever covered in one video on this channel, let's get right on to Reimagining Caterpie. So my task with this new design is to include something to give this Caterpie a new distinct personality, and I'm gonna do that by playing on its already very powerless stature. Before creating this reimagined Caterpie, I also felt as if I remembered the original Caterpie to be really cute, but after looking back at it, it's actually not as cute as I remembered. So my idea with this new design is to make it extremely adorable by adding elements that call back to the first stage of its caterpillar life, a baby stage if you will, by making it resemble a newborn human baby. I interpreted Caterpie's signature antenna by shaping it in a way that kind of looks like a bow on a baby's head. I also simplified Caterpie's nose mouth thing by making it more of a ball shape, which I think can also resemble a baby's pacifier. Just to add more face details, I gave it markings around its eyes that are meant to imply tears, although it's not actually crying. Once all the color is added, you can see the hidden details in its main body that makes this new Caterpie appear as if it's wearing a baby bib and a diaper. Here is the complete design, and I have to say it's literally the cutest thing ever. Since I gave it more light pink accents, colors typically associated with newborn baby girls, I made the shiny variant with light blue accents for the association to baby boys. Let's get right into its Pokédex entry. Caterpie, the baby caterpillar Pokemon. They can be very easily caught, even for beginner trainers, although it's very possible that they will allow themselves to be captured, as they will feel better protected by a human than struggling to survive in the wild. They do not stay in this form for very long, so it's often told amongst other trainers to cherish the time spent while in this stage. So normally, I would go in Pokédex order, meaning Metapod would be next, but I'm actually gonna jump around a bit to design our reimagined Weedle. I not so secretly copied and pasted the shapes within our Caterpie while changing the position it would be facing to really drive the point home while giving it a different personality, with Caterpie being viewed as the perfect little goody two-shoes, while the other being any parent's worst nightmare. Instead of the bow-shaped antenna that our new Caterpie has, or the singular horn that we know Weedle to have, this Weedle's horn is going to be shaped to resemble devil horns. Its nose/mouth that was meant to give the illusion of a baby pacifier is now sharp and pointed, which this Weedle could use to pick at other Pokemon or people, just like kids who bite others. My favorite part has to be the hidden details in its main body. When the color is added, you can see that the area where the baby bib was meant to be is now the same color as Weedle, as if it removed the bib. And to go even deeper with its hidden details, the area where the baby diaper should be is in both a brown and yellow coloring, which means, well, all I know is I'm not the one that's going to be changing that diaper. Here is Weedle's complete reimagined design. I know that the OG is a dual bug and poison type, but I decided to keep it as a mono bug type for now, and I'll include its secondary type in a later evolution. Notice how I never said which secondary type I'll be adding. Well, guess we'll have to find out in a few. Its shiny is actually a Dragon Ball Z reference, that being of Evil Kid Buu, since this Weedle is basically an evil kid. So let's get into its Pokédex entry. Weedle, the baby larva Pokemon. This Pokemon is known to be extremely troublesome to take care for inexperienced trainers. Many warn about how misbehaved they tend to be, often jabbing other Pokemon and people with its sharp horns. Wild Weedle will approach for a fight, which they are more often incapable of winning, knowing that their Beedrill hive is nearby to protect them. Because they don't stay in this stage for too long, trainers look forward to the next stage, hoping Weedle will grow out of its misbehaving nature without yet realizing they only get worse. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this new take on Weedle. Alright, so we're gonna jump right back to work on the evolved form of Caterpie, which is Metapod. For this take on Metapod, I wanted to continue on with the newborn baby theme, and I figured out a way of doing that while keeping Metapod's general cocoon shape, by making this new Metapod resemble a baby that's wrapped up in a blanket. Its face will maintain the round nose bug mouth to visually connect this form to the rest of its evolutionary line, and design its eyes in a way that always appear to be closed, as if it were sleeping, even though it's probably not. If we're going in the route of this line embodying the good baby, then I figured a calm, quiet, sleeping baby give parents the most peace of mind. I also included a very small eyelash detail that resembles butterfly wings, maybe symbolizing how this Pokemon dreams of becoming a butterfly someday. I also gave it a stringy-like spiral that sticks out of the top of the cocoon that's also meant to resemble the baby toys that are usually hanging off of baby cribs to entertain babies. On top of all of that, it's also in a circular shape to resemble an angel halo because, oh my gosh, your baby is such a little angel! Which is probably what this Metapod is constantly told. I'm really happy at how the wrapped up baby concept works so well as a cocoon, and I feel that this design helps give so much more personality to Metapod, rather than just being a green plantain cocoon. Speaking of, for just giggles, I ended up making its shiny form resemble a banana. I think some of these shinies are just meant to humor myself, but anyway, let's take a look at his Pokédex entry. Metapod, the cocoon baby Pokemon. This Pokemon is commonly known as the most well-behaved Pokemon to raise amongst trainers. It is extremely calm in nature, so much so that it's hard to fully tell when this Pokemon is asleep or awake. Some say that this Pokemon is always dreaming of the day it can spread its wings and fly. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this new take on Metapod, but speaking of making it spread its wings and fly, let's just get right into evolving this angel of a Metapod into, well, an angel. The whole concept of the sweet angel baby that has been the theme of this Caterpillar line got me thinking, what if the final form, Butterfree, resembled a more commonly depiction of an angel? It'd work easily since butterflies already have wings, similar to how people believe angels to have. After doing some research, I found that butterflies have very often been tied to angels, as many believe that angels will appear in the form of a butterfly on Earth to watch over who it presents itself to. So that connection works perfectly. One of the things that I wanted to maintain with this reimagined Butterfree is the charm that the original design already had. I feel that the big round nose and eyes play a role in that charm, which is why I kept that design element within this entire line, unlike the obvious switch by the Pokemon Company, where Butterfree's design was definitely meant to be Venonat's evolution. I segmented the lower part of its body to vaguely resemble the cloth-like diaper commonly depicted in baby angels, and I found myself adding several circular markings around its face and wings, which can be interpreted as additional eyes, as a reference to the biblically accurate "be not afraid" angels. Yep, that's actually terrifying. I also thought a floating halo that is essentially its antenna works really great for the design. Here is the reimagined Butterfree for the New Kanto region. I debated the typing combination for quite some time on this one, not being fully sure if I wanted to maintain the secondary flying type or change it up to a psychic, as the original Butterfree seemed to have connections to psychic powers, but I ultimately ended up going with the bug and fairy typing, as the fairy type was just the absolute best fit for the angel theme. I think that this new take definitely gives me the same feel as the original, while also adding new elements to its core design that doesn't make it change too much. Its shiny is a reference to the iconic pink Butterfree that appeared in the anime, which is the obvious shiny form Butterfree should have received instead of this. Butterfree, the angelic butterfly Pokemon. It is often told that this Pokemon can appear as a guardian angel, being able to channel the spirit of a loved one in the afterlife. In their Caterpie stage, they are often brought into classrooms for new trainers to learn about Pokemon evolution since they have the shortest cycle. Once they fully develop into a Butterfree, they are then released to continue on with its journey. Also teaching young trainers that sometimes you have to let go for others to go on. Let me know what you think about this new reimagined Butterfree down in the comments below. Okay, so we're gonna jump backwards to see in what direction we ended up taking our reimagined Kakuna, but first, here's a message from our sponsor, me. No, literally just me. I've been working really hard to get these videos out with my limited time schedule with work and all, but the hopes are to make this YouTube channel my full-time job, and for that I'm gonna need your help by simply subscribing to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video so far, press that like button down below. It really helps out get this video out to more people who might also enjoy this Kanto Reimagined series. There's also a new series on this channel where basically we take your 3 emojis from your comments and create a brand new Pokemon out of it, just like this one. I appreciate all of your support so much, and even watching this video up to this point is really awesome for me, so thank you so much. And yeah, let's get right back into the video. Since I want both of these evolution lines to be direct parallels to each other, I'm gonna maintain the wrapped up baby-like cocoon kind of vibe. The major difference being that I'm gonna design this Kakuna in a way that its small developing bug arms are sticking out of the cocoon like a baby that's moved around so much that it managed to undo or partially escape its blanket wrap. I really want to give this Kakuna the feel of a mischievous baby, so I position the thin bug arms in a way that look as if it were rubbing its hands together, similar to flies, that make them appear super sinister. By the way, the arms sticking out of the baby can also be a callback to the original Kakuna design in the Red and Blue games. I kept the pointy nose as it can work as a stinger, and began a facial marking around its eyes that can be interpreted as an evil villain mask. The cocoon will also have a pattern that gives it the bee-like feel, which, needless to say, but bees don't actually go through a cocoon phase like butterflies do, but nonetheless, here is the complete design of our reimagined Kakuna, still a pure bug type. I love how this little bug in its cocoon pod looks like it's plotting its evil little plan in there. I'm honestly really proud of its shiny though, since the Weedle shiny was inspired by Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. This one is a reference to Frieza when it was stuck inside of the Hell Cocoon, which is actually going to be really fitting for the new reimagined Beedrill. But first, here's the Pokédex entry. Kakuna, the plotting cocoon Pokemon. This Pokemon is known to drop down unexpectedly from trees on the string of web it's attached to. They will do this to jab smaller Pokemon or even passing by trainers with their stingers. It is yet to be clear if Kakuna will attack others for food or for territory, or if they simply attack because it amuses them. I now have one last Kanto Pokemon to reimagine for this video, and that is the evolved form of Kakuna, Beedrill. And here's where you'll start to notice that in this reimagining series, the Pokemon's name is sometimes gonna be the main inspiration when it comes to what direction I take the new design in. Let's take Beedrill for example. We obviously get the B part of its name in the design, but there doesn't seem to be much of a drill element in the original Beedrill. If anything, it should have been named something like B-Lance or B-Spear, since that's more of what Beedrill has for hands. For this take, I wanted to implement an actual drill, but instead of being on its hands, I'm gonna switch it up and give it a big drill stinger. Since I did want to make this Beedrill the counterpart to our reimagined Butterfree, one of the other elements that I wanted to include to its design is what's perhaps the direct opposite of an angel, and base this new Beedrill on a demon. I stylized the eyes to cover its face like a visor that I also shaped in a way to resemble devil horns. The stinger itself has that triangular shape that is very similar to how the end of devil tails are depicted to look like. Because I wanted the drill stinger to be its main feature, I decided to just keep its arms in that sinister, plotting, fly-like pose. It wasn't totally on purpose at first, but I also gave it a marking on its shoulder armor that looks like swords that could maybe one day be a nod to this reimagined Beedrill working as a knight soldier for Vespiquen. Here is the complete design for the new reimagined Beedrill, and for this reimagined version, we're gonna be changing its typing combination from bug and poison type to a bug and dark type. I definitely don't want to run into this thing in a forest, but I think my favorite part about this design that I noticed is that if you turn it completely upside down, it looks like an actual power drill. For the shiny, I made it red to complete the whole devil look. Beedrill, the Demon Sting Pokemon. New trainers are warned to stay away from forests, as this Pokemon is known to swarm and attack anything that gets too close to its hive just for fun. Their stinger is able to rotate at powerful speeds and could deliver a devastating blow. However, it appears that they mostly utilize their drill stinger as an intimidation tactic, as if it actually proceeds to fully sting, it could prove deadly to the Beedrill itself. They seem to have an instinctual hatred towards Butterfree, however, the hatred is never reciprocated. And there you have the complete evolutionary lines of the early route Kanto bug Pokemon. I'd love to know which is your favorite of all 6 designs for today's video, and perhaps if you'll be picking up either of these 2 Pokemon in Viridian Forest before you replace it with something else closer to level 20 like everyone else does. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, it would help me out so much. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And comment below what Pokemon you're looking forward to get reimagined in this series. For the next video in this series, we'll be working on the early route bird and rodent Pokemon. So Pidgey and Rattatalines are up next. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are in the world. And peace. Until next time, guys. See ya.